Place I'd love to start is just in terms of the Liberty's overall identity being defensive. As the very first WNBA Defensive Player of the Year, do you take a certain pride and feel like it's almost come full circle here for the franchise?
Well, I think this is what this team has always been about. We've always hung our hats on defense, and not just me. I was just fortunate enough to be given such a prestigious award, but it's all about the team and what we wanted to do and where we knew that we could win games, and that was to hang our hats on the defensive end. And is fortunate enough to be a part of a program who still believes that defense, it starts on that end. And it's awesome to watch because everyone buys into that. And when you buy into that, it's amazing what you can accomplish.
Fortunate enough to receive it twice, I will note, by the way. But the specifics of that, though, and getting back to it here in 2015, does that seem to you like the key to bridging that gap and like getting that, that final, let's say, moment in the resume of, that championship in the 20th year?
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, to see what we did last year defensively and how we bought into that in practice. We brought it every day in practice, all the little things, paying attention to all the small details. And what we did defensively was outstanding. And of course, once you get a team who understands just how you became, that you accomplished those things, it started on the defensive end, you bring that back to camp and ready to go again, making sure that everybody is held accountable for their job and everyone holds each other accountable. And we step out here to get ready to play, we hang our hats defensively. We're going to get defensive stops, offensive runs. And it's awesome to see. It's always good to see a team who performs in that manner.
So then let's talk about, because by defensive efficiency, you guys had the best rating of any team since the '07 Indiana Fever. Of course, the Tamika Catchings team, and Tamika being the one who stopped your season. What is that difference? What was the difference last year? And, what specifically can be done to sort of bridge that gap between what the Fever were able to do, on your home court in a decisive game and where you guys were as a team overall?
Well, it's all about coming back in and doing the very same thing. And what you want to do is just make those small adjustments, those little details that we possibly didn't pay attention to during the course of the game, and making those adjustments. When you make those adjustments, boom, quickly, during the course of a game, during the course of a timeout, whatever it might be, and we're able to make the adjustments, we understand that bringing it back into camp. You always analyze things of how the game or that series ended. And when you figure out what it was, you bring it back in here and you add to what you had going to get you to the semis. And to get yourself back there, is it tough? Yeah, it's going to be tough. But it's all, once again, about buying into what's going to get you there, and especially on the defensive end.
When you think this league, just in big picture terms, entering the 20th season, do you think the median player is better than the player was 20 years ago? And do you think the elite players are better than they were 20 years ago?
Yeah, that's a tough question for us to answer because we thought we were out there. We were pretty doggone elite. Yes. And we probably still believe, we do. We believe it. We believe that we are elite athletes who started the entire WNBA, which is a great feeling. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to look out there and still see great elite athletes who are still getting it done. That's the way we see it. We see it as such. But of course, great things have happened. The game has evolved, and that's the beauty of this whole thing. Is 20 years ago, people are asking, is this thing going to last? Will it even get to this point? But we, as the athlete, we felt like it would because of the fair opportunity, fair opportunity given. We wanted to make sure that we took that responsibility, and we took that responsibility as a major challenge to make sure that those little eyes upon us got a chance to live this same dream that we're living, and it moved on from generation to generation. And of course, it's doing it now, and that's the beauty of it for us, who had an opportunity to play in such a wonderful league. And now you're seeing everybody else get that opportunity. Like Tina Charles, she always speaks about being a part of it, being one of the ball girls, and we gave her the ball while she's out there, handling the balls, whatever, to her, and she was watching. Now she's playing here in the same floor, the same place, Madison Square Garden. To me, that's awesome. We did something positive to start this entire WNBA.
What do you remember? What was going through your mind in those first moments you're stepping on the court when this all began?
The practice facility, when we walked out there, and we were actually it was at the Reebok Club, and we take a look out at the mirror at the window, and we see who's watching us practice. We were like, oh, that's that. So we knew who these stars were, and we were in awe that they were watching us. And our coach calls a timeout and brings us together and said, you realize this, they're watching you. And boy, it got us on a roll. I remember that so well, that it got us going to know that we're professional athletes here now. And they're watching us. They want to see what we're going to bring. And then we had the first game in the Forum against Los Angeles. The ride there, nervous, scared to death. Scared to death because they have that responsibility. We were about to be seen across the country, across the world. It was being televised that here's the WNBA. We got next. So we better show why we got next. And it was an awesome opportunity for us. You know, we were very quiet on the bus, very quiet in the locker room, because now it's time to perform.
When you see someone like Mariah Jefferson perform the way she does, and I mean, a lot of parallels to your game and hers. Like, do you feel like, do you take ownership of it, and do you feel a certain pride in seeing the way that happens?
Well, I just love the game of basketball. I see a lot of great athletes and what they bring to the game: the speed, the quickness, the intelligence to run a basketball team, to understand the angles and spacing. All those things is really good to see, and the execution of the game, offensively and defensively, it's really good to see. You don't really like to pinpoint certain players with this one. I like to see players go and perform the game. Now, we have one here with us in New York living, that's Brittany Boyd, who does an amazing job of pushing the basketball, running her team, playing D, all these things. It took time to understand, but she's into her second season and she understands it more. And I just wanted to be of help to her, to give her everything I know. You don't experience these things to keep it, you experience it to share. And I want her to be the best at everything that she does.
Not a coincidence she was top 10 in defensive efficiency last year as a rookie with your influence, no question.
She worked really, really hard. She worked really hard on understanding where she should be in relationship to the basketball. And she's working even harder this year than being in training camp at this particular time. I can actually say that I see an amazing improvement from last year to this year. And anytime you get injured and the game is somewhat taken away from you and you just got to watch it and you can't play something that you love, you come back and you're ready to go, there's a different energy.
Last question, and I know it's hard to think in terms of a championship right at the start, but in your mind, is there a thought of, year 20 to have this original franchise and, place where it started for you, cap it off by winning? Would that be appropriate for the WNBA to celebrate that way?
All I can do is smile. I think that might be my answer right there. It would be absolutely awesome for this organization. It would be awesome for everyone who's had an opportunity to play and be a part of this organization, and it would be great for the city of New York.
That's a great answer. And for more videos like this all season about the league, please subscribe to our YouTube page at Excel Sports. Thank you very much.